let's move to this story. The Ofsted chief, Sir Martin Oliver. Yes, him. You're familiar with Martin Oliver's work. He said that he backs an Australian-style under-16s social media ban, blaming platforms for rising exclusions as well as bad behaviour. From the 10th of December, Australia will require 10 platforms to prevent under-16 accounts, including Snapchat, Meta, TikTok and YouTube. Can this work? Christine Cunniffe is head teacher of LVS Ascot. Joins us now. Christine, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Oh, how many times does social media cross your desk on any given week?
Every day, at least once. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's in good faith that, you know, the Australians are doing this, and I think we wish we had an answer to it, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as it seems, because children are very good at navigating systems. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see what happens. Maybe we can take a learning curve from that, maybe see what we could do here, but it's an upward battle. Yeah,
it is an upward battle. My little boy started secondary school last September. Couple of weeks in, an email comes from the head teacher, and what had happened basically, it was that we were just talking about Charlie Kirk, and the video of Charlie Kirk's horrendous killing was of course all over social media, and somebody was showing it to other kids in the playground or something like that. So and this video went around to kind of warn about this. The school are doing what they can, but they can't control what happens, you know, when you go out the school gate, etc., when you're on the bus going home. All of these, you'll be more than familiar with all of these dilemmas, and I was kind of shocked. It was the first time as a parent the leap from primary to secondary school is so massive that you forget, you know, we're into proper discussions now, not just about what you're going to do on World Book Day, but this is, you know, the serious stuff. So I was kind of, as a parent, I thought, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. And it made me think. And then my little boy told me that on the coach there was a kid describing, he didn't show a video, describing how somebody was beheaded or something, and all this horrible stuff that is out there. And it could be violence, it could be sexual, it could be profanity, it could be all of the things that, again, you're more than familiar with. And I just don't know how you stop it. It's like it's the dam or the air bubble effect, isn't it? Because you can close off one avenue, but another one sort of opens up.
I think parents have got to have those open conversations with their children. It is about dialogue and talking. And schools can do all the education in the world. You can ban mobile phones in school, as you've just said. You can have your online filtering systems. But when you go home, are parents actually putting those monitoring systems in place at home as well? Because the thing is, I've heard through my own children who have thankfully grown up now, that these things, the beheadings, the horrendous things that these kids can see online, I had no idea myself, you know, and to think that young people are accessing that in their own homes where the parents are probably not totally aware of what's going on. So I think it's having those conversations and saying to your children, look, we're protecting you. You shouldn't be seeing things like that. Not at those formative years. That's going to change who you are, who your character is going to be as you grow up. And as parents, we have that responsibility to protect our children from that. But also the governments have got to be seen to be doing something with it as well. Yeah. It's a tricky one. There's always a way round. It's a slippery slope, but we've got to protect our kids.
And of course, the issue really is, I mean, social media, of course, is a platform that might, you know, enhance some of this stuff. It might make it more prolific. But actually what we're talking about is the internet, right? I mean, no one's proposing in Australia to stop the internet. I mean, if you wanted to see something, you know, horrendous or something that the eyes of a kid should not be looking at, whether, you know, sort of adult content in whatever form, then, I mean, the internet will give you that anyway.
It will. If you go looking for it, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
You know, bottom line, you know, so, you know, even as adults, you know, I'm really careful what I put in. I don't want to see things that I'm never going to forget. I don't, you know, you just don't want to do that. You've got to be so careful with your searches, and the children are naturally curious as they grow up. You know, part of it, you can't blame them in a way. You know, they're being told these things. They're naturally curious, but we've got to try and stop it somehow. But it has to be united front with parents. Parents are the front line here. Check your monitoring systems, check your filters at home, talk to your kids and warn them of the dangers as well.
And you said every day there's sort of issues around this. Is that because do you experience things that, you know, a pupil has seen or a parent has complained about, or, you know, just something you're aware that's kind of, I mentioned Charlie Kirk, that's doing the rounds? I mean, what does that look like as from a head teacher perspective?
I mean, normally we're flagged up if something's going around, which is particularly nasty. And obviously we've got all the things now about with the use of AI, which is, a huge issue. Yeah. For fake pictures, videos, the whole lot. There's so much for those children, those poor kids, to navigate at the moment, and we hear on the circuit of really disturbing and deeply upsetting things that are happening to children, and it's trying to find ways in which we can protect them from it. I think it's going to get a lot worse. Yeah. How we as a government, as a country, are going to try and help navigate this is really tricky.
It really is, isn't it? I mean, the questions come easily. The answers are a little more tricky to work out. Listen, Christine, great to get you on. Thank you. Christine Cunniffe, head teacher at LVS Ascot. It is almost in... I don't know. Do you know what? I was on the train going home the other day. I forgot to tell the team this as well. I mean, it was... I don't even know how I should have done it. It was just so... Because this is Twitter, right, or X. So when I was, growing up, if you saw Samantha Fox's big toe, that was pornography. It was one of those that back in the day, you might see something that, a ripped out page from Fiesta or some poor old Dave's going over there. Yeah, I remember Fiesta well. I was a subscriber on a monthly basis. You might see something and think, yeah, look, there's something a bit more than a boob. But now, so the other day, Twitter offered up a video. I can't even go to the details, but it was a video filmed in an old folks' home of two elderly people who'd obviously fallen deeply in love, I'd like to think. And they were kind of engaging. I'll just leave it at that. Now, I don't know whether that was some kind of AI thing or not, but the fact that it was on there, the fact that a kid could legally see that. I mean, top shelf stuff was it was so taboo, it was either behind glass or it was literally on a top shelf. And again, you might have somehow, some kid at school had a cut-out page of something in a locker. But now, and it's literally everywhere. I don't know how you stop that. I don't know how you stop kids from having any access to it. YouTube is interesting because YouTube do claim that they do have lots of guidance in place, and actually the stuff you get on YouTube is nowhere near what you could find on many other social media outlets. It is 99.9% of the time just showing videos, whether they're documentaries or whether they're just stupid things or video gaming, but you will see content on there that is, quite brutal. The bit I don't get in this debate is why it's not easier to get rid of it from your kid's device. And you can give a child a dumb phone, as it's called. You can make a smartphone into a dumb phone. It's quite convoluted, but of course you don't want to remove their internet access entirely. A lot of their homework is done online. I mean, my little boy asked to borrow my laptop because it's faster than his iPad, so he can do his homework. His homework literally is online. The instructions for it are online. And so often the actual exercises he's got to carry out are also online. You try getting rid of YouTube on a phone without somebody finding a workaround. Because they say, well, password protect it. Password protect YouTube. So when you go to the app, delete it. Okay, so it's in the App Store now. You need a password but the password is the same password that you open your iPad with. So they've got the password to get it, or your fingerprint, whatever it happens to be. I mean, you should think you should just be able to toggle anything, and that would not be available either in app form or through an internet search engine. But it simply isn't that easy, and in the world of AI, I find that unbelievable.